As I'm sure most of you know, we as humans love chocolate, but it's not so great for your pets. Why is that? Let's investigate. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Holmes, and welcome to another episode of Pet Doc Sherlock, where we help people solve the mysteries of pets. And in case you didn't already know this, Valentine's Day is just 1 week away. I think that's kind of hard to miss given the fact that stores have been decorated in red and pink and stocked with heart-shaped boxes everywhere since roughly the beginning of January. But if you haven't given this much thought, fellas, it's time to get in high gear and figure out what it is you need to grab. And Valentine's Day is that day that we get a special something for our special someone. Side note, please get something special for your someone special on days that are not Valentine's Day. But it is one day where everybody gets something for somebody else to show that they care. Might be a card, some flowers, a teddy bear that's as big as the real thing, and of course, the staple of every Valentine's Day, chocolate. People love chocolate. Sure, there's some that don't, but most people enjoy chocolate, whether it's just a sweet little treat, candy bar you grabbed on your way out from the grocery store, or some really fancy, decadent chocolate cake after a nice dinner. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can add things to it, you can have it straight as is, but in general, people love chocolate and have for decades. But chocolate's not so good for our furry family members. Dogs and cats do not react well to chocolate. And why is that? Well, if we think more broad and think about different animals compared to us humans, it would make sense that we don't all digest things the same way, and we don't all use things the same way in our bodies. For example, wild dogs and cats, they kill large animals, deer, wildebeest, and eat them whole. Even your little cat who goes outside on occasion probably brings you a bird, a mouse, a vole, and it's eaten pretty much the whole thing. If we were to try that, we'd probably build on our relationship with our bathroom over the course of a few days. And if you think about other animals too, say cute cuddly koala bears, they eat primarily eucalyptus. If we were to munch on eucalyptus leaves, enough toxins would build up in our bloodstream to cause some pretty major issues. So it makes sense that different animals metabolize different types of food in different ways. But what particularly about chocolate is bad for dogs and cats? Well, chocolate, it comes from the cacao plant. Yes, I watched several videos on how to pronounce that, and I'm still not exactly sure, so we're going to run with cacao. Anyway, most chocolates derive from the cacao plant. White chocolate, turns out, isn't really chocolate. It's mostly butter and dairy and a couple of other ingredients. But for all intensive purposes, the brown chocolate stems from the cacao plant. And within cacao, as it's broken down, there is a chemical called theobromine. Fun word to throw out at some parties, but it's a chemical that's similar to caffeine. For humans, we metabolize theobromine really quickly, so it doesn't build up in our bloodstream. It just kind of is there for a moment and goes away. Dogs and cats, however, can't metabolize theobromine very quickly, and it builds up in their bloodstream to a higher and higher concentration. Now, what does theobromine do to their system? Kind of like caffeine, it kind of kicks everything into hyperdrive, so the heart starts to beat a lot quicker. It has effects on smooth muscle within the digestive tract. It can even affect how nerves conduct. So if a dog or cat ingests enough cacao to get enough theobromine, then they'll start to have some pretty major side effects. Their heart rate will become abnormal, and maybe even at a different rate, and something called arrhythmias. They may start having muscle tremors, and they can't walk appropriately. There's probably going to be some vomiting and diarrhea. And if some of these things are left unchecked, or they ingested enough chocolate, then it could ultimately lead to their death due to side effects. That's very uncommon, but none of these things are fun to experience. So, how do we know what amount of chocolate is a problem and what isn't? So, there's a higher concentration of cacao, therefore a higher concentration of theobromine within darker chocolates. So, baker's chocolate or dark chocolate or some of the more fancy, dark, really dark chocolates will have the most cacao in them, making them the most dangerous for your pets. Milk chocolate, just like the name implies, contains a lot more dairy, a lot more sugar, and a lot less theobromine, a lot less cacao, so it's not as dangerous. The problem is, even if they don't ingest a lot of theobromine, they still are going to eat a lot of sugar and a lot of fat. So for some dogs, that's enough to kick off pancreatitis. And if pancreatitis begins and is left unchecked, it can have a host of side effects leading to a long-term issue with your pet. So just because it's milk chocolate, just because it's even white chocolate, doesn't make it safe. It just means they're not as much at risk of the theobromine toxicity. So there's no exact number for me to say, if your dog eats this amount of chocolate, they're fine. They may be, they may not be. So a 50-pound dog, average-sized dog, needs to eat 1 ounce of dark chocolate or baker's chocolate before you start seeing signs of toxicity. I don't know exactly how much 1 ounce is just by looking at it. So it would be hard for me to watch my dog eat something and then say, that was 1 ounce of dark chocolate and that's going to be a problem. I can't figure that out. So what do you do if your dog or cat eats chocolate? If your veterinarian is open, give them a call. Most of us have a calculator, basically like a little wheel, that has a dog's weight on one side and the amount of cacao on another, and you line them up and you see if the amount of chocolate that dog ingested is a problem. If your vet's not open, give a call to the Pet Poison Helpline. There is a small fee. I don't remember exactly what it is, but the website will show you. You can call them, and the information you're going to need to give both your vet or the Pet Poison Hotline is how much chocolate you think your dog ate and what kind of chocolate it is. So the name of the chocolate bar, so we can look up how much cacao or how much dark chocolate is in that chocolate itself. So hopefully this has been helpful. The moral of the story is just keep the chocolate away from your dog or cat. Don't give them anything that contains chocolate, because it is hard to determine how much is going to be okay versus how much is going to cause a major problem. We can enjoy our decadent little treat, but they can't. Maybe get them a special little something for Valentine's Day, a safe, healthy treat for them, but keep the chocolate out of reach. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you have enjoyed this information. If you did, please hit like. Please hit subscribe to see other videos we're going to come out with. Later, we'll talk about other things that are safe for you, but not so much for your pet, and a host of other topics. If you have any other questions about your pets and just general care for pets or anything else, check out our website, petdocsherlock.com. Until next time, remember to always keep your pets happy and healthy.